Is Montana going woke? Hey, in today's podcast, we're going to sit down with Abram Antonucci, former LEO and current real estate agent in Bozeman, Montana, to talk about Montana housing market versus Coeur d'Alene housing market. Is Montana actually going woke? And is it worth moving to Montana or Idaho? All right, let's go. Hey, welcome to the North Idaho Experience, a podcast for the people of North Idaho and those who are North Idaho curious. These are the stories of those who choose to call North Idaho home. If you're thinking about making North Idaho your home, give our real estate team a call, text, or email info@nidexperience.com. I was in the middle of my intro. You heard me pause because I was like, well, this story's actually out of Montana. So, but we're close. I mean, we're close.
Well, it translates, right? So, because a lot of people that are looking in Idaho, they want that. A lot of people want ranches, they want outdoors, they want trees, they want stuff like that. And Bozeman, Montana is one of those places that people heavily consider.
Yep.
And
so, hold on. So we're joined. This is Abram Antonucci.
How's it going?
He's an agent out of Bozeman, former LEO also, just like us, and owns his own franchise, Next Home. So we wanted to have him come on. He drove all the way out here through a blizzard. To come here.
I don't know
and
how
see
many
us.
passes, like 5. I lost count.
That's a lot.
Do they stop?
they're all in Montana.
That's not true. We got to Lookout and then Fourth of July
pass. That's
and
a
then
doozy.
there's some other little hills after that.
Yeah.
They're all frozen right now.
Which you made just terribly icy.
Yeah.
But you made it.
I made it. It was fun.
Yeah. Dave has a ridiculous question that he's just dying to
No,
ask.
I'm just excited. No, okay, so everybody wants, I have questions. I'm sorry, Yellowstone.
I knew it.
I have to ask about Yellowstone. I know.
I knew it.
Is Yellowstone going to come
I
in?
knew he wasn't going to like it. But, dude, that's a huge thing. I mean, a lot of people
it's
have
huge.
talked about Yellowstone,
That's
and
the dream.
I'm sure that has had an impact on the real estate community out in Bozeman, for sure.
Yeah.
What's been the change?
Well, a couple things. Like during COVID, people were trapped at home, right? And they're like on these binges of Yellowstone and couldn't get enough. And
Guilty.
they're literally calling online lead sources like, we want to come out. We've watched Yellowstone. And I hadn't even seen Yellowstone. I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
I want to buy 20 acres.
I want 20
I want
acres.
1,000 acres with a 4,000 square foot log home and a barn, and I've got a budget of $350,000.
Yes, and I want horses.
And horses.
And horses.
Yeah.
Put horses
So-
on.
Yeah, so put us on the map for sure, because we were busy before then. But for sure, they were like, we want to come to Yellowstone. And is Yellowstone filmed in Bozeman? Yeah, some of it is actually downtown. And then Livingston, you guys might have seen. That's in our MLS too.
Where's the
just
train
down the road.
station? That's all I want to know. If you've watched Yellowstone.
I don't know where the train station is,
Okay,
honestly.
it's somewhere on the border, I think. That's where they dump
But
the
it's
bodies.
interesting because, our bookkeeper, she does some production bookkeeping for them. So there's a lot of hands that are in it. The fairgrounds in Livingston Park County, they were housing a lot of the animals that were used. Because they rent the animals. They rent them per hour. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Oh, wow.
So if you need a sheep, it's $100 an hour, and you need 12 of them for a scene.
Right.
Horse, cows, they're all kept there.
I got
So there's
goats.
a
I could rent my
whole,
goats out. My goats are
There's
adorable.
a whole market around the show.
So that's what I was wondering. Were they, for Yellowstone, do you know, did they use a lot of resources that were local and source things like that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be a huge
Yeah,
bit
a lot
income
of
for the
extras.
community.
One of my old sergeants was on there in one of the SWAT scenes.
Yeah.
They used a lot of extras and stuff.
That's really cool.
Most of it, I think, was filmed near Phillipsburg or.
Where's
up
the
towards
actual
there.
ranch? It's not near you, is it?
Yeah, it's not near us. It's about
Okay.
2 hours away.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And then a lot of the big mountain footage you see, that's actually filmed in Canada.
Really?
Yeah, and then a lot of it's filmed in Utah too. Some of it, so.
That's crazy.
So some of it's not even our state.
So in terms of not to turn it all on real estate, but I know that when you have something like that, I know Joshua Tree is where I was from.
Mm-hmm.
There was no movie or anything else, but Joshua Tree got put on the map because of rock climbing. In the mid early 90s, it started becoming a pretty popular sport out there, and all of a sudden Joshua Tree became one of the, everybody started to migrate away from the whole Yosemite's the place to go to now all of a sudden this Joshua Tree, middle of the desert, right?
Yeah.
And you had a few people out there that did a lot of work to create guides and everything else, and once that got out, man, that changed everything, changed the whole dynamic. Is that kind of been the case with?
I mean, Coeur was the big changer, probably like Coeur d'Alene was. I mean, Bozeman has always been a destination city, and Montana's always been a destination state. We're only an hour and a half from Yellowstone National Park. So our airport is the 6th busiest airport in the Northwest.
Oh, wow.
We got flights from San Francisco, Los Angeles, Newark, Florida daily.
Wow, really?
Chicago, Houston, you name it,
yeah.
We've got it. Because they're all going to go to Yellowstone National Park in the summer and winter. We actually get more destination people in the winter than we do the summer, believe it or not.
Really?
Because we have Big Sky Ski Resort, Bridger Bowl, Mountain Peak, or Spanish Peaks, Moonlight Basin, all these ski resorts near us, so people.
How many ski resorts within about an hour and a half from Bozeman?
About 5.
Wow, that beats us.
We're like 4.
We got 4.
Yeah. What's the population for those that don't know?
The city limits is about 50,000 in Bozeman. The greater Gallatin County area is about 110,000.
So that's pretty similar to Coeur d'Alene area. Yeah. I think is Kootenai County population, I want to say like 150.
Yeah, we're probably close to that.
Yeah. Okay, but Coeur d'Alene itself is about 45,000.
Yeah. No, we're closer to 60 now.
Bro, that's not what it says on the sign.
I don't care. The sign hasn't been changed out since 2010.
Come on.
Yeah.
Update it.
We're closer to 60 for sure.
I should know this. I make a lot of videos about these things.
Update our population. So.
Right. Well, that's interesting. How long have you been doing real estate in Bozeman?
This will be my 10th year, almost 10th year.
10th year.
And were you a cop in Bozeman too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was Bozeman PD.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did you do that for?
Almost 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you get out of that?
It's a long story. Just like anything in law enforcement, it's starting to wear on my family.
Yeah.
Getting tough. My wife had converted she was a construction engineer degree in college. Super smart. Definitely married up. You guys probably all did too.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks.
He
knows our type.
Your wives, but I already know that they're probably really special.
It's like, you guys are ugly. So really yeah, you married up.
Balding white guys. So married, amazing wife. She got into real estate 2 years before me, kind of in the recession, really. Like, we're just starting to creep out of the recession. Started to take off. Oops, we had baby number 4. So that was getting tough, having a wife in real estate. I was working night shifts, weekends. Yeah. Couldn't pull enough seniority to get better bids. It's getting just ridiculous because she'd be doing open houses. I'd be trying to sleep or paying for daycare like 7 days a week.
Yeah.
It sounds very familiar.
How was, before you keep going, the department out there, how big is the department?
We had about 80, 83, something like that.
That sounds pretty good size.
Yeah.
Actually.
Pretty good size.
Yeah.
They're hiring, so if you want to come. Good.
Well, a lot of the people that watch this, man, I tell you how many people call us about Kootenai County, SO, Coeur d'Alene PD, Post Falls, Spokane Valley. So, if there's people watching and they're interested, that's a good thing to know that they're hiring over in Bozeman.
Once we talk about home prices in Bozeman, they might change their mind, though.
Well, and I started as a Leo in Boise PD. So I got my start there, and we had come from Montana to Idaho because Treasure Valley was affordable then. Like, we got a nice new house, new construction, higher wages. So, right. Yeah, it was good. So
you were there for 8 years, you said. Mm-hmm. Okay. Were you just an officer, sergeant?
I was doing patrol. That's when I left. I had done a stint for 2 years as SRO and DARE officer. I was the DARE guy. So.
DARE's still a thing? I remember that when I was there.
Yeah, I had a sweet, jacked up red truck with stickers all over it.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
13 schools.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
It was a lot of work.
How's the community? How receptive is the community to law enforcement out there?
They love their law enforcement.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Politics of Bozeman. Obviously, I'm going to say that it's conservative, right? Is that changing?
I would say we're more purpley.
That's so wild when I hear that because you just don't picture that for Montana, right?
Yeah.
We looked at when we were moving here, we kind of danced around the Montana idea. My wife was like, no, because of the weather, it's colder. But that just surprises me because you would think it's, obviously from watching Yellowstone, you understand everything there is about Montana. It's very conservative. John Dutton runs that shit.
Well, yeah. Kind of. I mean, they call us Los Angeles for a reason. So. Yeah. So there's Missoula and Gallatin County, and those are probably the two of the more left-leaning cities.
Yeah.
Do you hear the "Don't California my Montana"? Is that a thing over there?
Yeah.
Is there any other bigger catchphrases?
I'm from the Sea State.
Yeah.
So,
it's funny. Population is what changes things, right? It's complication. It's the diversity that comes in from just people that have people have one strong opinion can change things for everybody. I just saw it on Rathdrum Community News this morning. Somebody posted something on there, and they're like, nobody should be allowed to. They said it's a hostile environment for animals, and these people, it should be a felony if you put your dog in the back of the truck, and yada yada yada.
Like
because
any time of year, just because it's cold.
Because a dog's in the back of a truck while you're driving, and a dog could jump out and it could die. And they bring up these horror stories, and I'm like, listen. When you get a bunch of people together, when the population grows, you do have a tendency to left lane, because one person like that will push and push and push for legislation, and we all know that more legislation leads to more restrictions, less freedom, more government involvement, and that's not what people in Montana and Idaho are really looking for.
That's how you Californicate your area, right?
And some of it's been good. Like now we have different languages spoken in school. We've got lots of cool ethnic restaurants around town. When I was going to college there at MSU 20 plus years ago, it was steaks, hamburgers, and there was like a Chinese restaurant.
Okay, I think we should go back to that. Just steak, hamburgers.
I'm good with the steak.
So now we've got some definite, with out-of-state people and groups, you get some really cool stuff. So I'm not opposed to it, but...
No, it's
but we do have a MSU, Montana State University. It's D1 sports. We now have 17,000 students there.
Wow.
That's
when I
cool.
was there was 10,000. So with that, you're going to have more professors. You're going to have more people from out of state.
Right.
So it's just naturally going to change.
That does start to bring in some of the woke ideology, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's
Missoula is probably a little bit further woke than we are.
Here's my question. Kids sports. You have kids?
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody get a trophy, or is it just first, second, third?
Not in our state.
Still just first, second, third?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yes.
That's good.
That's right. Sometimes you lose, and you don't get anything when you lose.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A big problem, we talked about this earlier, you guys are starting to deal with homeless issues now, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't that surprising?
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
So how do we avoid that here in Idaho? Because we have none right now,
Well, COVID was a big game changer because people came from everywhere to work in Bozeman and surrounding Montana, and then they realized, home prices are expensive, rent's really expensive, so they brought their campers. We literally had streets for the last 4 years just lined with campers.
Oh, really?
So I would bring clients into town, and they're like, why are there people on the streets camping? And I'm like, I don't know. When I was a cop, that was not a thing.
Right.
Wow, that's...
So we...
How's there no city ordinance to
There are. There are them. But they kind of turned a blind eye because we needed the waiters, we needed the framers, we needed everyone. So how far do you push it?
Right.
Who do you determine to stay? Who doesn't? So it's been a challenge for sure. Now they have a permit system. It's called urban camping. So you got to apply for a permit. You pay $25. I think you can camp for, I don't know, 30 days. I can't keep up with how it changes.
Urban camping. This is so cool.
So now they've hired a whole, apologize. I think there's 6 code enforcement officers in Bozeman. They're doing a good job. And they're trying to be politically correct, charitable, humanitarian, but also put down the law you can't keep your garbage outside the camper if it's parked on the street. You're trying to keep it.
That slips
and
away
that's
real
always
quick.
the goal of
So
law
what do you
enforcement,
do?
right? Is to be
The balance.
To be charitable, to be helpful, to be understanding, empathetic, all that stuff. But you have to be able to lay down law, because if you don't, and it's really hard when a city ordinance is in place and they do not, county prosecutors, city prosecutors won't prosecute this one thing, and it's like, hey, if you don't do it, then why does the law exist?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Okay.
Yeah, so that was a challenge. So I'm kind of glad I missed that whole
Yeah, you're not having to deal with that
time
as a
of
cop.
dealing with that. So
What? So, I mean, this is a delicate balance. We're seeing that here in North Idaho of finding how lower income housing. Right? You have a workforce that does jobs that I don't know if the pay is similar there, but it's not great here. So you have to find a way to house these people in an affordable way, and rent prices are not super affordable up here.
no.
I don't know if there's an easy solution. You don't you start subsidizing housing, and now you're starting to run into other issues. You get Section 8 housing, things like that. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is.
I don't know what the solution. I mean, living in the Rocky Mountains is tough because, like I was telling Seth, we get to like 40 below. So you have campers starting on fire because they put a wood stove in it to try and stay warm, and then your camper starts on fire, and
that's a tough way to live.
And then it goes to 100, 105 degrees in the summer, so it's not a easy climate to live in.
Right.
Wow. So, I mean, my heart goes out to them. I don't know how.
Here's something we I talk to people about when they move to this region. It sounds like you guys have something very similar. We're isolated, right? When I really look at it as a region, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, it's a little bigger than Bozeman, right? Obviously, but quite a bit. But this region has a lot of those things. But once you drive away from the region, you're 7 hours to Boise, you're 5 hours to Seattle, you're 3 hours to Missoula, which is just another isolated area. Right. You're 10 hours from Salt Lake. Like, there's not a lot, right? I mean, you really have to rely on this area. But the one thing that keeps us sane is, we're flying out of town here in a week and we're going to Florida. Mm-hmm. We have Spokane International Airport, which saves the day.
It's amazing.
So, I mean, it sounds like that's something that, because you guys are pretty isolated out there, right?
Yeah, we're super isolated. Like, my brother was in furniture, and the semi-truck drivers would say, like, the prices are so high for us to get goods to you because there's Alaska, Hawaii, and there's Montana. Like, because the trucks come full and leave empty. Right. So they're charging you twice as much because they don't leave with an empty. There's nothing to take with a full load. They're not picking up we don't produce much, so they're not hauling it away with. When you ship something, it goes with a good and returns with another good somewhere else. Like if you're going to go to Chicago.
I never thought of that because I'm dumb.
Right. Well, and moving trucks too. Yeah. I have seen that, right? Because nobody, we're seeing that. If you try to rent a moving truck in California, Oregon, and Washington, they're going to charge you like twice as much because no one's leaving here for the most part.
Right.
Yeah. Mover's tip. If you're going to Bozeman or Idaho, something we actually did with my in-laws is we rented the truck up here. Yep. It was cheaper to drive it all the way 20 hours away and bring it back than it was to rent it and drive one direct. Half price.
They
the
want
price.
The truck back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's nothing leaving here, so it's that same principle.
It's the same principle. So when you go to buy a 2x4 in Bozeman, I don't know, let's use Salt Lake. It might be $4 for a 2x4, right? We're probably like $8 or $9. It's like twice for the.
Do you know like cost. Average cost per square foot for new builds roughly?
I know what my cost is.
Yeah,
but new build costs are like $323, $325, something like that.
That's comparable, huh?
That's pretty comparable. So you just hinted at something. So do you build as well?
Oh, I do. Yeah, we do about one spec home a year.
Okay. So not a lot, but you guys have the ability to do that.
So at least I know the numbers because I'm following what the plywood costs. I know what my sink costs. Yeah. I know pretty much everything. It's the fluctuation is the labor. Like
Right. Does it get way more expensive for labor in the winter? Is it seasonal at all or?
Yeah, it's pretty seasonal in the wintertime. If you can get a crew, I mean, your framer's probably $50 to $75 an hour.
Okay.
Manpower for.
I think we're fortunate here. It just dawned on me. Like I imagine a lot of our labor pool lives over in Washington, like Spokane Valley. It's such a huge area. I don't know what the population is. 500,000 plus.
No. Dude, no, I gotta get you
for Spokane Valley. Yeah,
I'm gonna look it up right now. Go ahead. I'm gonna fact check you.
Stand by that. Fact check me.
I'm gonna fact check you right now
because I think Spokane's like 250. 350?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's in 200.
So if you out in the valley?
200s.
Go ahead. You fact check me for everything. Go ahead. Anyway, I think we're pulling a lot of our labor pool from there. You guys don't have that over there.
No, in fact, we haven't even talked about Big Sky. Have you guys heard of Big Sky?
I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it.
So picture Sun Valley.
Okay.
Take Sun Valley, put it right next to Bozeman. That's what we've got.
Okay.
Aspen, Breckenridge, anything you can think of like
Son
that.
Of a Sorry.
He's right?
Gosh, I hate when you're right.
It's like I know some
Spokane
stuff.
County. Sorry, we're going to talk about Big Sky. Oh, man, I'm so bummed. I hate being wrong.
How close was I?
I'm getting wronger more often.
You are. Yeah.
Spokane County population is 551,000
It's like I knew
people.
That.
Spokane City, 2023, is 230,000 people. So it is half.
Wait, can you just say it one time?
Yeah, you were right.
Thank you. February 7th.
Thank
You were right. Yeah, thank you. All right, we'll do a anniversary edition next year of Stuff Being Right. Perfect. Well, let's move on. Big Sky. Go ahead.
Big Sky is like Sun Valley, for Montana. So we've got Spanish Peaks Mountain Club up there, which is a private exclusive resort, ski in, ski out, golf course, private powder. Then you have the Yellowstone Club. So you've got Tom Brady, Bill Gates, anyone that's got money has got a house up there.
Y'all, it's like Gaza, I guess.
Yeah, very similar to Gaza.
But they don't have a ski resort there. They don't have shit there, actually.
Not like Gaza.
They have a nice golf course.
It's like the Mountain of America. Mountain of America.
Okay.
So put a wall around it with security, private skiing, private shopping, restaurants. That's Big Sky.
So you literally can't get access to the restaurants and things if you're not a member?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. I'll show you guys some stuff later.
How bad did the locals hate?
If anybody's looking to move to Big Sky, please call us first, and we'll get you hooked up.
Yeah, I know his contact information until you call us.
It's a love-hate relationship, right? Because I used to bow hunt there and stuff.
Yeah,
and that's a whole other deal. So they took National Forest, they privatized it, and put a town on top of a mountain.
Okay.
That sounds similar to the show Yellowstone. Weren't they trying to? Well, I guess no. It was
it's not too far off.
Yeah,
it's not too far.
So that actually happened.
Yeah, it actually happens. Yeah, I mean, we do have less people in the trunks, but yeah.
It's almost like if you have unlimited amounts of money, you can do whatever you want. That's crazy.
Shocking. Who knew?
Huh.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
So what we're fighting against is like the people that mostly work there live in Bozeman. So if they're gonna frame a house for me, they're gonna make twice as much if they drive an hour and a half.
Oh,
I get it.
And so you're competing with this labor force. And then if you're going to clean houses, you could make, I don't know, $50 an hour in town. You can go to $100 an hour if you go up to Big Sky.
Wow,
You
okay.
just take your life in your hands driving for an hour and a half through a windy canyon.
I'm guessing they got a little private airport up there in Big Sky and everything else.
No, because it's at the top of a mountain. It's like 8, 9, 10,000 feet. But what they do have are helicopters. So you land at Bozeman Airport or Ennis on your private jet. Then you take your helicopter. You fly into a pad where you then go to your house and then go skiing for the day. But you have too many bags that won't make it. So then you have to hire a fleet of black Suburbans that usually drive
your bags.
Your bags there because there's not enough room in the helicopter.
We're going on vacation soon. I told my wife, I'm like, one bag.
My wife just bought a new bag, and it's like 5 feet by 6 feet, I think.
It still can only be 50 pounds. 5 feet by 6 feet.
Not in your own private plane. You can do whatever you want in your Gulfstream.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. You just be happy with your 50 pounds, peasant.
5.
All right, thank you. Yes, I'm coach.
But the fun thing is if you go up there, like I've gone up there quite a bit, is the homes are at, let's say 7,800, 8,500 foot elevation. There's not a lot of oxygen up there. You're coming from Newark, you're coming from Connecticut, take a direct flight, you land. You can't breathe. And so they have these oxygen condensing units that put oxygen into the home. There's billboards around town. You'll see them add oxygen to your house.
No way.
Or they have these little kind of like little asthma inhalers. So you'd be walking around with a client and they're grabbing one and going, yep.
Our celebrities got freaking soft,
They're
dude.
soft.
I know.
I bet
Until you acclimate, it takes a little while to acclimate.
I bet they don't even cold plunge.
Come on.
Yeah.
They don't cold plunge, yeah.
Weak.
So there's some nuances definitely for sure up there, but it's beautiful.
What a strange dichotomy. You've got these people living in trailers on the side of the road, and then you've got the uber rich elite living at the top of a mountain, just literally looking down upon you.
Well, they have crash pads, they call them too. Like sometimes they'll buy a condo downtown, or when you fly in, you can go do your shopping at Costco and stuff, and you can drive up your mountain house.
Wow. Is there, like there is here, a very small group of realtors that service that entire community?
Oh, yeah.
And lock
Very
it down?
small. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind
Good
of
for them.
Tighten
I'm
it
sure
up
they're
there.
doing well, yeah.
They're doing well up there.
Yeah. How do you break into that crowd?
I don't want to break into that crowd.
I don't
That's
either.
kind of, we've had that talk too. Like our clients are
it's
such
not
good
my
people.
I mean, I've got one
Yeah.
under contract. Actually, we were driving here yesterday for a lot up there, and it was actually tough to even get the appointment to see the bare land. And then I kind of had to give a resume of my client without telling them who my client was to even get the appointment.
Yeah.
So,
No, we have a completely different client base too. And I don't ever, it would be cool to say, oh, I sold Wayne Gretzky a house. But truth is, those aren't my people. It's just really not.
He might be cool.
He is cool. I told you, I met him.
The
And he is freaking
Kardashians
cool.
or something?
No, I have no desire.
I don't want to
Justin
deal with
Bieber, get out.
Get out. Die.
we've helped quite a few people with the Yellowstone
That was extreme. I'm
staff
sorry.
Right.
And actors. I've helped a couple of them, and they're great.
Yeah.
They're so down to earth.
That's super cool.
They're like really nice. Like, there's a reason why they are where they are, because their mannerisms, their charisma is just, it's just mind blowing.
That was a different crowd, right? I mean, other than Kevin Costner, really, not a ton of A-listers or anything else. A lot of people that really got their start, and that's what they're known for. You may never see whatever the heck his name is.
Rip.
Yeah. What's his?
It's right on the tip of my tongue.
I know. Yeah. Cole Hauser.
Yeah.
Like, you may never see him in another big thing. That may be his role. Maybe he'll go off and, into stardom and do something else. But a lot of people, I think that just the culture of being a cowboy and everything else and what comes from that and the people that want to play those roles and do those types of things, I mean, that's a select group of people. And I think you probably did have a different experience with those people.
Oh, yeah.
Than you would with A-listers.
And weren't some of them actual cowboys? That
Right. I worked with one wrangler he's an extra, and he's an actual wrangler for the set. And I was showing him double wides with 10 to 20 acres on them.
Good for him. Cool.
Like,
yeah.
It's not all about the glam. He's like, I just need a place to hang a hat and put my horses.
I love that, dude.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's something you probably, we had a lot of people leave here. We try not to say the C word because they have a tendency to not like it on
YouTube doesn't like us.
But after that time, we had a lot of people that moved back to California. People come up here and they're like, they want that life. Oh, I want to live in the trees. I want to go up north. It's beautiful, whatever else. They even talk about freedom and all this stuff. I'm sure it's the same with Bozeman. People want to be a cowboy, live on the land. They don't realize how much work that is. And up here, when people ask, like, why are people moving back to California? I go, well, in California, especially Southern California, you pay for your entertainment. You pay to go to Disneyland. You pay to go see the Angels. You pay to go see the Dodgers. You pay to go to the trampoline park, the movie theater, all these different, you pay for your entertainment. There's stuff down there to keep you moving, keep you engaged. Up here, there's not. Right. And it takes a person that's like, I'm willing to go snowshoeing. I want to go find a morel mushroom. I want to go pick huckleberries. I want to be outdoors. And if you don't have that ability to entertain yourself and take advantage of the beauty in the land, then people get bored really quick.
Yeah.
1 year, and they're like,
long winter.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
And there's things you can do all season. I mean, we just went ice fishing, and that's a super fun activity, right? Ice skating.
We're going hot tubbing on Thursday.
On Thursday.
Yeah, we have Chico Hot Springs. It's about an hour away, and it's like a resort, kind of. It's there's not even TVs in the hotel rooms. It's nice.
Perfect.
But you go and you soak. And there's an old saloon and stuff, and I call it, like, it's like our Disneyland.
Yeah.
So the kids are like, it's Saturday, let's go to Disneyland.
That's cool.
It's Chico.
What's the economy? You talked about you guys don't produce a lot. Where is the money made in Bozeman?
Probably mostly the service industry.
Okay.
MSU is the largest employer. Right. 17,000 students, so you got professors, you got staff.
Right.
Everything that goes to take care of it. And then I think the second is the school district itself, so teachers. So a lot of it's probably public dollars.
Okay.
And then second to that, it's probably service industry, tourism.
Yeah.
Ski guides, fly fishing guides, hunting industry.
Hunting
industry is huge. Like, we got Meat Eater. You guys know the
Meat
Eater?
Is he lives out there?
He's based out of Bozeman. Stephen has a house down the road. All those crew are there. We'll see them on the planes around town. Their kids go to school with our kids.
That's cool.
So a lot of those, we've got Stone Glacier backpacks.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeti bought Mystery Ranch. We have Mystery Ranch backpacks.
Oh, dude, Mystery Ranch was good. In the fire service, we had those.
Yep.
Those are the best.
They're made in Bozeman.
Oh, no way.
Sims waders. I don't know if you guys are fly fishers.
I've seen the brand.
Okay. Yeah, that's Bozeman headquarters.
That's pretty cool.
So a lot of outdoor industries.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about timber?
Timber used to be a thing, not as big anymore. A couple of the mills closed down now.
Yeah.
I think Livingston still got a mill. Most of our stuff gets brought in from Canada.
It doesn't seem as dense over there when I drove through as it is like over here in other places. I mean, it was almost like
it's more big sky. I'm from Maine, so I'm used to trees that are tight.
Right.
You come out here and you can just see for hundreds of miles.
Right.
And then you'll see the timber up on the trees. So more expansive views probably than here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's pretty.
And we have more. We have rivers, not as many lakes in Bozeman like you guys do here in Coeur.
Yeah, we got. I don't even know, 17 lakes in the county.
I think that's
I love it here.
Yeah, that's the big draw for us. People ask me, I had to answer this question again the other day. Somebody's like, "Oh man, what happens when it floods?" I'm like, "It doesn't flood." Like, what do you mean it doesn't flood? And I'm like, well, this area, you see all the natural waterways and the streams, and we have so much water here. Water knows where to go. The only time you worry about any water pooling is when you take a roof and you displace all that down a gutter system into one spot, and you may have a little potential puddle or something else. But for the most part, up here, man, when it rains, it gets absorbed right away. It percolates well. It's got a place to go.
Yeah. It's
and obviously, like I said, the lakes up here, it's not Minnesota. It's not the land of 1,000 lakes, but they're everywhere.
But if you took a picture of up here and like where Seth and I are from New England or upstate New York, and you showed someone, they probably wouldn't know that much of a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
It's on that same boreal line, I think, of trees and
Similar.
Same latitude.
You guys have any natural fires, natural disasters up there? What's
We've
the
had
big
some
thing?
fires, yeah.
But if it's
it gets
open like that, it's probably not.
Well, like I think it was 2021
Grassland.
or 2020. There's a ski hill called Bridgeable, and we had a fire Labor Day weekend that burned 75 homes.
Oh, that sucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the trees. So yeah, that is a threat. We do have rivers, and so like this time of year, if they start freezing, we could get some flooding in some areas.
Do you have phone winds?
Phone winds.
This is the Dave word. Dave used to be a firefighter too, so he's a total nerd.
A total nerd.
Total nerd.
Yeah. Do you have, are most of the winds up there, do you guys have like seasonal winds that come through like regularly, or do you guys have just frontal winds? Shut up.
Are you
Seth.
proud of me for remembering
I
that
am
word?
very-
Bozeman's pretty protected, so we might get a little bit of increase in the spring or maybe in the wintertime.
But nothing that's a regular, like a Santa Ana, anything else like that?
No.
So that's huge.
Livingston, which
Yeah.
is the next valley over, which you've probably seen on Yellowstone or something, like their winds range from like 20 to 60 miles an hour a day.
Oh, that
semis
sucks.
like flip over constantly over there.
There's like constant wind is something that I hate almost more than
Drives me
anything. Yeah,
nuts.
yeah.
I mean, they call it Paradise Valley. I mean, I'd love to visit Paradise Valley, but I couldn't live there.
But that's like a lot of the Dakotas too. Just wind.
Right.
Yeah.
Just flat.
When I show houses over there, I prep my buyers. I'm like, okay, I'm going to open my door. I'm going to get out. Then I'm going to close my door. Then you open your door. And they're like, why? And I'm like, you'll see in a minute.
And hold on to it, please.
And hold on to it because you're going to rip it off my car. And I've had them fail to obey the law. And my papers, that you print for housing, literally have blown out the windows. And you're like, we're done. Or the garbage is blown out.
We're going home.
We're going home.
You're not gonna make it.
One
here.
day I was driving by, we were looking at lots, and he was from West Virginia, I remember. And he's like, is it always this windy? I'm like, yeah, sometimes it's worse. And the stop sign was like fluttering like this. I probably shouldn't tell you this, right? I'm Montana Real Estate. I'm trying to promote Montana.
No, it's fine. You want people more towards Bozeman, not out here.
Yeah,
okay, got it.
So the stop sign's doing this. And he's like, it's really windy. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of normal. We come back about 5 minutes later, and the sign was gone. He's like, wasn't there a sign here? And I was like, yeah, it's a new sign. They're probably going to have to come replace that one.
You know what? But, when you say stuff like that, I think that is some of the attraction for Bozeman and other places, right? The lack of resources or the difficulty or the seasons, because those things will keep a lot of people at bay. There's a reason why there's so many people in Southern California where it's comfortable, and then so few up here in the Northwest, Montana and Idaho, because people don't want to deal with that. That's a struggle for them. I hear it all the time. I'm so tired of the snow. It's like, perfect.
Yeah. It requires a certain ruggedness, and I think that's what attracts people to.
Individual kind of libertarian type.
Like that's what attracted me.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy moving snow, and don't get on here and say I've only lived here for 5 years or whatever. I grew up in the snow on the East Coast, and like when we get a big snowstorm, I get like excites me. I'm like, sweet. I'm gonna go.
Well, you get fluffy powder. Like Seth and I were talking. We used to measure snow in feet growing up in Maine, and it was wet and heavy.
Yeah.
Like today, my wife said we got 6 inches, and I was like,
you can blow it away with
a snow blower.
Yeah.
So
leaf blower. Yeah.
Leaf blowers are
Yeah.
the best. When I see it and it's coming down soft, I'm like, I'm just gonna clear this off every hour. Just blow it all off.
That's
Looks like
amazing.
nothing ever landed there.
Dave's got a perfect driveway.
I'm so meticulous, but I tell my kids, I'm like, keep the line, because they'll take it straight out. I'm like, nope. They take the V. I was like, get it all the way up to the grass line. I want to see the grass line. Keep it clean. I know. I'm a tyrant.
You are.
That's great.
Yeah.
But if you go to Big Sky right now, like my brother has a restoration business and they shovel roofs off and stuff, you can't tell the snow load on the roof from the ground. It's now just one giant
really?
wall. I'll have to show you some pictures.
How many feet of snow do you guys get up there?
We only get like 150 inches, I think, annually in town. Up there, they're probably 500 to 600 inches.
Oh, that's
good.
Winter.
That's considerable.
Yeah.
So no snowmakers up there. It's just natural powder.
Yeah. No. And snow removal. They're running out of places to put the snow sometimes.
So peons like me, I can't go to Big Sky. So where do I ski?
You can ski at Big Sky. There's Big Sky Resort.
Okay.
Yeah, you can ski there, the public. So there's Moonlight Basin, which is public, Big Sky, which is public. And if you pay a dual pass, you can ski at both of those resorts next to each other.
They're connected.
Then there's Spanish Peaks Mountain Club, which has their own private powder. And there's Yellowstone Club, which has their own private powder. And then you can go to Bridger Bowl, which is 16 miles from downtown Bozeman. That's the allure, right? When I was going to MSU, if it's a powder day, you're like, screw school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
16 miles from the mountain.
That's amazing.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's the big draw. So we get a lot of like Midwestern kids, upstate New York kids, New Englanders, a lot of California kids that want to come because they can go fly fishing in the summertime, 10, 15 minutes from their dorm.
Right.
Go hit the powder in the winter.
Oh, wow.
So
that's probably pretty nice.
really good hunting and fishing too. So
What's the median home price over there right now?
I looked it up this morning because I thought you might ask.
Yeah, good. Glad you did.
Single family is $729 Bozeman City.
Dude.
Bozeman City.
Wow, you got us.
What were we, like 550?
Yeah, around 550.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. In the county right now.
Impressive.
Single family was $990 or something, and that's probably because some of the Big Sky homes were probably added into those prices.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, are there a lot of local people left that grew up there? Because here, maybe 1 out of 10 people you run into.
it's probably similar to.
Which is unfortunate. I mean, people are getting priced out of where they grew up, right?
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for that.
I don't think that is so. I don't think that's just here.
not
I mean, even the
just
town
here.
that I
Right.
came from,
Right.
in the middle of the desert,
It's not, yeah.
prices have gone up so much, and I look at the economy there, and I'm like, man, you're priced out there too. It's not like it's just an Idaho or Montana exclusive thing. I think people recognize it up here so much because there's been such a drastic change. But man, you go down to California, you try to get a job down there, even buying homes down there.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No.
We did the math. What was that home price? $699, and if you put 10% down with 7% interest rate, I don't want to be depressing, but it was what, 5,500,
Yeah.
5,300.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's 2 really good paying jobs probably for
Right.
their average.
Well, I remember hearing the people that, they have a home payment less than $1,000. I remember hearing that and going like, oh man. And then I bought our home and we're like, luckily the first 3 homes, we were all around $2,000 or less. Even the one we have now, we bought in 2019, we're at $2,000 or less on that home. And I think about it and I'm like, man, now I hear these other people come in and young couples, right? New law enforcement guys, young family, and they're buying a home for the same, like smaller than the home that we bought in 2019, right? And they're paying for the home, and I'm seeing their payments, and they're like $4,300 a month. And I'm thinking, good God, if mine was $4,300 right now, I'd be having a heart attack.
Yeah.
I'm like, you kidding me?
You can't.
And on a brand new LEO salary up here,
Man, it's tough.
that's really tight.
That'd be tough. I was talking to our captain. He said they're primarily taking laterals because they're coming with some sort of reserve. To
Dude,
make
it's
it probably similar here
Right.
too.
Sell
I
a house
imagine.
somewhere they have enough money to put down and actually afford a home.
It kind of sucks because the economy is so money driven that it's going to find the best way for it to survive. And that's by putting people out. I talked to my son about this with avocados when he was like, how does the economy work? I'm like, well, you got 100 avocados and you can sell them all for 50 cents. Okay. And so you'll make $50. But then you find out if you increase the price to $1, you can sell 90 of them, and now you've made $40 more, but 10 of them go to waste, right? That's what happened. It's happening with people. Those 10 people are not allowed to afford a home. But then I told him, I said, then you go to $2, and now you can only sell 50 avocados, but you've made 10 more dollars. Now you made $100, but 50 avocados go to waste. It's the same thing with housing. That the economy will find a way. That's why money is just, it sucks, man, because everybody wants to get as much as they can. And when you watch it happen, it's what you toss people to the side. They can't afford to buy a home because of that. So it's a struggle.
Yeah.
It really is.
I saw a poll, I think it was on Saks Realty.
Yeah.
We did that podcast recently with them. And it was basically... It's basically 75% of the people on that poll said they would rather suffer economic hardships for a short period of time and lose value in their homes for home prices to normalize. The end result would be better for them. And I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know where we go from here. We have so much demand. You guys are in the same boat. We have very limited inventory. It's only going to drive prices higher. What happens? That's not good for anybody.
I don't know. And if you appreciate it 3 to 4%, just a year, it's not going to get any less. My materials aren't getting less. My labor's not getting less because they have to live somewhere. So I don't know what the answer is.
Well, we've turned our culture into a gambling culture too, right? Everybody wants to jump in crypto right now, and this one's going to go up, and we gamble on things all the time, and people are doing it now with their livelihoods. That's why when people call me and they're like, hey, I think we're going to rent for a little bit, I'm like, that's fine. If you want to sell your house and rent for a little bit, I'm not here to stop you, and I'm also not an economist. But what I can tell you is that you have essentially pulled your money out of the market, and now you're at the mercy of the market. If the market goes up, you lost your money. If it goes down, you win. But very few people are that good to be able to determine those humps, right? You're not investing with extra money. You're investing with your livelihood. And so when you're dealing with, I don't know if you guys are like me, but a lot of my money is tied up in my home. So when I go to sell my home, if I don't reinvest that money immediately, if I want to play the market, I have a tendency to lose my livelihood, not just an investment, right? You see these investors doing it and they lose $200,000-$300,000, but that's not their livelihood. So people do that. We've turned into a gambling culture, and now you have people that pull their money out and it's not worth anything in 2 years, because if you pulled it out in 2019 and you held on to it because the market was going to crash, dude, like you've gone from 30% down to 10% down. So it's scary.
There's a lot of other factors at play. I mean, what's going on in the government right now? I'm just thrilled every day I wake up when I see how much waste and fraud are being discovered. I saw that it's like over 10 million Social Security numbers that are collecting Social Security that are actually not alive. Like they're over
35 years old.
Yes, they're over and there's one that was like 300 years old. I don't know how that works because Social Security hasn't been around that long, but whatever. I get so
my
excited
property
about
taxes have doubled in 2 years, and so I don't know how someone on a fixed income.
Right.
Like,
what do you?
I'm like, I got to go sell another house, and I can pay for it, but I don't want to, and I'm not getting any more services.
How much are they a year, if you don't mind me asking?
My house right now, it's about 4,000 square feet, 6 bed, 4 bath, $10,000, $11,000 a year.
Oh, no way!
Whoa.
Wait, is there income tax in Montana?
No. Oh no, there's income tax. Sorry, no sales tax.
No sales tax.
Yeah, no sales tax.
So they make it. They always make it.
They make it up somewhere.
They're gonna get it.
But 2020, 2021, that was like $6,000. So it's almost doubled.
Dude,
wow, that's crazy.
That's way higher than.
So if you had a retirement, if you were retired or on disability or whatever, I don't know what you would do.
You know what? A lot of people love the no income tax or no sales tax, but here's the problem: when you do that, you target only a select group of people. Right. And you also target homeowners where, well, if you're not a homeowner, you don't have to pay any taxes because, we have no income tax or no sales tax. When it's not a collective anymore, it starts to narrow things down. Yeah. And I get the other side, right? Well, it's the people with money that are going to have to pay the money. That's fine. But then you start putting all the weight on one side. And if that side fails, man, you lose it all.
I've been seeing a lot of talking about getting rid of property tax altogether in the U.S. because you own this land and now you're basically leasing it from the government.
Oh, it's always going to be a lease.
Which is pretty terrible when you look at it. You're like, well, fuck you, I own this.
But I don't know what you would do to replace it like that.
I don't know either.
I can't figure that math.
10% income tax, no write-offs. Done.
That might do
when you look at the math and how much money that would be, it's an unbelievably large amount of money.
And it would save a lot
and
of
if it's
money.
Just 10%, there's no write-offs, there's no TurboTax, there's no IRS.
Easy.
You made $100,000, you pay $10,000. Have a good day.
Yeah,
and it's done.
Yeah. But I mean, the wealthier other people will find a way around it, and then they're going to pay.
Well, then you have the disincentive for Amazon to grow, to provide services from all these other things because they can't write off stuff. So there's another side.
Or there's Amazon 1, Amazon 2, Amazon 3, and they all made $5 that year. I mean, let's be honest. They'll figure a way around it. So I don't know how.
I don't either. But can you imagine being on a fixed income, your property tax is $13,000 a year, and you can't afford it? So eventually they come and take your land, and you're like, well, I own this.
Yeah, and I didn't get any more bang for my buck.
Right.
Like, you doubled it, but what did I get out of it? I still have potholes. I still have crime.
Right.
So
that's tough.
That's what I struggle with. I mean, in Bozeman, we're so lucky. We have really good street plowing. We have incredible law enforcement. We've got a great fire department. So, I mean, I see where my money's going. We have amazing schools, #1 school district in the state. So I see that, and I see why it's expensive.
But the police department didn't double. over that.
Not double. I mean, they're still trying to hire like 10 or 13. Right. We have less than when I was there, and we have a bigger population and more calls for service. So,
what would you say for somebody that's looking to move to central Montana? Would you describe it as central Montana?
We're southwest Montana.
Southwest, okay. So somebody looking to move to Bozeman or southwest Montana, what would you say is the number one drawback to moving to that area? And then what is the number one reason that people want to move there?
I mean, the biggest complaint is going to be probably like up here, how expensive it is, because food's going to cost more, restaurants going to cost more, vehicles going to cost more, your housing is going to cost more. Flip side, when I open my doors in the morning, I can't believe I live in a spectacular place. I mean, it looks like Switzerland, surrounded by mountains. I can see trees, beautiful climate. We have more sunny days than Honolulu, believe it or not. Like, it's sunny all the time.
Oh.
It'll snow, and then by the afternoon, it's beautiful.
Wow.
So that's, I mean, that's the flip side, right? It's an amazing place to live.
So definitely the cost of living is a downside, but the beauty.
Yeah, the beauty is nice. It is expensive, but you got to work.
How's the community? Even though you have, I mean, we have that here, right? This like super elite, rich class. Does the community have that small town feel?
Very small town feel. Like, I have friends who come to visit, and they're like, this looks like a Hallmark TV show.
Nice.
It's kind of like downtown Coeur d'Alene. We have beautiful lights up, seasonal decorations.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Festivals in the summer. Every Thursday downtown is closed to concert series, and they route.
Love it,
vehicles around.
We got to make a trip. I said it. I said it first.
So it's called Music on Main. Then we have the Sweet Pea Festival, which is live dancing and concerts and food trucks for a couple of days. We have a rodeo series every, I'm going to get it wrong, I think Friday in the summers.
Yeah.
You can watch a rodeo in downtown.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot to do.
So I'm going to grenade this right now.
Do it.
I'm going to completely go off kilter. Your brother Alden, okay, who I met when he came over here, is interested in a project. He has a podcast.
He has a podcast
that is a little bit conspiracy theory. Like,
they're not conspiracies in his mind.
I don't know. We were talking about the okay. So what
I think they're truth for him?
No, because we're gonna have a conspiracy theory night here real soon, talking about some of the big things. But
you got to bring him in.
I'm gonna just ask you right now, Alden. So I have a heads up when we work with him on his podcast and vice versa. Does he believe? Do you know? Does he believe we landed on the moon or not?
I can't speak for him, but I doubt it.
You don't think he did?
I don't think.
Okay,
he believes that they did.
Oh, so I have an argument for both sides. He believes that we did. You said?
I don't think he.
Okay,
I doubt it. That he thinks that we did not.
Okay, so I just need to gear. I have an argument for both sides. I really can see both sides, but now I need to really pump. Oh, sorry. I really need to pump my collective for that we did land on the moon. Yeah. So I'm gonna work that side really hard.
For it.
If Alden's against it, I'm going for it when we sit down and talk to them about it.
It's funny that you bring this up. We were doing interviews for a front desk position yesterday, and
did you ask them that?
I did.
I
asked two people that, and it was really.
We got to know who we're talking to.
I got to know what level boundaries or anything.
No, we break all the rules.
Yeah,
in our brokerage.
We're the anti-brokerage.
I just wanted to throw them off. You know what I mean? And and just see like, hey, what are we playing with here? Are you willing to entertain some crazy thoughts? Right? Like, I don't know, but I edge towards we maybe did not at this point. But like, hey, let's throw it out there and see what happens. And we can, reveal some character with questions like that. So that literally came up yesterday.
You know what? It is important because like I said, just hiring somebody up front that's going to represent our brokerage and everything else. We try to take the sales out of sales, right? Try to be way more relational and everything else. So we need somebody up there that actually, that's not a question that they're just going to, they're going to have fun with it. Yeah. And I think that's part of our culture and just being able to, like I said, we joke about it that we're anti-agents, we're anti-brokerage, all this other stuff. So we like to do things differently. And anyway, so having somebody up there, we threw some stuff out and we had a good time. We finally hired somebody and she already had a first day where she's like, oh my gosh.
The initial interview, Dave, I will say you're a genius, Dave. He did speed dating. Yes, I said it. What did we have? 33 applicants?
Yeah.
So we did.
Well, we had like 85 applicants, but then we did
whittled it down.
How you kept us all straight? Seth was telling me about
He's an organizational master. Here's what my role in life is to piss Dave off and create friction in his world. So
that's why he has Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? That's why Paul's my best friend. Paul, you heard it here. I'm going to take this clip and send it to you.
It's okay. I wouldn't recognize Paul in a crowd of two people. So,
It's his ghost friend.
No, we did speed dating because it allowed us.
It was great.
Other than that, I mean, it takes 30 minutes to interview an applicant. We have 6 people that are doing the interview. So we could only get through 6 people in 3 hours. I'm like, well, why don't we just 5 minutes with each person? We can do 6 every half an hour. So we got through, almost 36 people. And it's nice because we can sit down and go like, yeah, this is a culture fit. This isn't immediately.
What's important to him is not always what's important to me.
I want to hear, how did you drop the moon into?
I just throw it right out there. I was going to say in that first interview, my last question for every person was, I said, "Do you love America?" And I just wanted to see the reaction.
So you're like,
and they were all like,
strength?
"Hell yeah, I do."
What's your weakness?
Nah, they were
Did we land on the moon?
Mine were way off kilter. I'm
trying to figure out how this went and how you're going to get written up by HR.
Well, he's HR, so
I am HR.
Okay.
I was drinking whiskey during my last 3 interviews.
So my questions were very culturally based. Like, I want to know you're a good fit for our culture. So, like, I'm going to say the word fuck, and how do you react to that? And I just read it. And if they're like that, I'm like, you might not fit here.
That's how I react every time you say that.
So we don't really worry about it. That's the beauty of owning our own brokerage because, like, Dave's HR. I'm like, go complain to Dave.
There's no franchise.
There's no
cut you off.
Corporate.
Funny enough, we did a reel on our social media on me being HR, and our reels will get anywhere from 1,000 views to 10,000 views. This one got we're at almost 600,000 views now.
That's insane.
And we're like, what is it? I'm reading the comments. I'm like, oh, dude, I got some good people backing me up here. Yeah. Like, they like me being HR.
That's great. I'm just impressed that you got 35 people with a pulse to show up for a job.
Yeah, we had some great applicants.
One of them, I'm certain, didn't have a pulse. He had very cold hands.
Oh, careful. She's watching.
Not her. She was amazing.
Were they all hers, or did you get some he's?
No, we had some he's.
Quite a few.
Were they good?
We had some that had some potential for sure.
And we had some weird ones.
Yeah. The problem is that, in anything like that, when you're trying to grow a business, culture fit is huge.
Oh, yeah.
And it sucks because we had one guy, man, super qualified, right? Like, if you put everything down and you were 100% objective and you never saw anything, you're like, man, this person's pretty good. But culture fit, you got to be able to work those things,
I don't want to walk on eggshells up front. Like, I want somebody I can joke with, and they may hear an F-bomb down the hallway because agents, everybody has their own personalities. And it's like, we can't worry about that.
No.
We got to worry about taking care of our clients and doing business. Like, I don't want to worry about hurting someone's feelings or, like, any of that nonsense, right?
Don't hurt my feelings anymore.
I'll hurt yours.
I almost killed him at our interviews. He started to go off script.
Attempted.
And I was so mad.
Don't go off script.
I was so mad at him. Yeah.
It was pretty hot for a minute.
Yeah.
It was pretty hot.
Right in the middle of interviews, I'm
then
like,
you're
I'm
like,
gonna kill you,
the 5 minutes is up.
Yeah.
So next.
Anyways.
Do you love America?
I do.
Yeah, good.
Well, we're getting close here, but I will say, if any of you are watching this, we want to kind of bring, we meet people like Abram, who are real estate agents, former LEO, have backgrounds like us, similar personalities, and people that we trust. And one of the big things that we like to do is we like to create these partners in other places of the country. If you're looking into this and you want to go to the Wild Wild West somewhere in Montana or Idaho, these are the people that we associate with that we would love to get you in contact with. So if you're watching this, you have questions about Montana, Bozeman, those areas, give us a call. We will get you in contact. And same thing, obviously, coming up here, we're always trying to get people as much information about the areas as possible. Selling a home is a totally different thing, but helping people become part of a community and get to know what they have in that area, that's what we're about.
Boom. Yeah. Abram, thank you, brother.
Thanks. It's been great.
Been a pleasure. Yeah. Well said, David.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks,
Seth. I can't expand your name.
Seth the.
Just turn it off.
Good day.
Bye.